some would call history in the making.
Don't say that.
We have never been down 1,000 points ever, not even intraday on the NASDAQ.
Is that true?
That is true.
Okay. Down 6% right from the get-go. This is heavy big tech. Here we go. Look at them go down. Microsoft is down $20. That's 5%. Alphabet, 5%. Meta, 6%. Amazon, 6%. Apple, 9% down. Let's pull out Apple. This is interesting.
Hey, what's up, guys? Back with another crypto update. I don't even know where to begin today because over the past 24 hours, we have seen pure chaos in the US stock market as well as the crypto asset class. So I want to run through a few important bullet points related to the Fed, monetary policy, the S&P 500, also considering elections, and then we're going to run through a bunch of recent news for different crypto projects, so let's get into it. So first up, shared by Watcher Guru, over $1.93 trillion has been wiped out from the US stock market so far today. And I played a clip in the beginning of this video shared by Good Morning Crypto saying the first time in history the NASDAQ is down 1,000 points in a single day. So this is not just happening to the crypto asset class, this is happening to the tech sector and affecting the US stock market. And as we know, there's a high degree of correlation between the tech stocks or the tech sector of the NASDAQ as well with the crypto asset class. And we know in the S&P 500, the tech sector represents roughly 32% of the index. So if we think that it's volatile for major stocks like Amazon and Apple, how volatile could it be for Bitcoin? And then apply that to alts, which are even more volatile. So we're all trying to navigate one of the most volatile markets in the world, the crypto asset class. And at the same time, experts all over the world are scratching their head trying to consider all of these factors for global macroeconomic conditions and the Fed balance sheet, Fed policy, inflation reports, geopolitical tensions, and it's absolutely crazy. So the point being is we're already in one of the most complicated times in our human history in terms of economics, geopolitics, finance, and we're trying to navigate through the crypto space, which is even crazier. So we're seeing crazy volatility in both directions for the US stock market as well as the crypto asset class. Alts are pulling back dramatically. Some are at all-time lows. Some could go even lower. But I know that euphoria always returns in this market. This market moves in cycles. So just be aware of sentiment when we see a few alts do a 3x from their lows, and sentiment is going to pick back up. We just don't know how long this is going to take. Is it going to take a month for recovery? Is it going to take 6 months? But when that happens and we recover, euphoria is going to return. And until we see positive price action, crypto is a joke. Whenever it's at lows or creating all-time lows and it's a liquid, everybody makes fun of crypto, and then another cycle comes, alts retrace a little or a lot, and then people pay attention again. It's just a market and it's going to fluctuate. So to quickly go through a few bullet points, and be sure to stick around because we're going to dive into some recent crypto news. So a couple of years ago, inflation was as high as 9%. Today, it's come down to around 3%. We know the Federal Reserve has said they will maintain interest rates in the current range of 5.25% to 5.5% until there's clear evidence that inflation is moving towards their 2% target. And there's also potential and talks for a rate cut sometime in 2024, potentially September or December for 25 basis points. And just remember that overall, during election years, that tends to bring higher volatility to the S&P 500, especially in the months leading up to November. Alright, and super quick for the Bitcoin dominance price chart, you can see we're in a steady uptrend around 56.8% today. This is the highest the momentum has ever been in history. The last two alt seasons were these crashes in 2021 and 2017. So we've yet to see that crash, and we're in that position. The question is, how high does Bitcoin dominance go first? How long does it take? And how big of a crash could we see? And other things to consider is, in 2017, we had one of the biggest crashes in history of 62%, and this was the super cycle. In 2021, we had a smaller crash in terms of percentage ROI, but the market was also a lot bigger. So looking at the total crypto market cap, how big was the market in early 2017? We're talking $20–30 billion, absolutely nothing. In this cycle, from say $20 billion went to nearly $760 billion. We crashed down to around $90 billion and then found our actual top around $3 trillion. And we're under $2 trillion today. So although I think it's interesting looking at these percentage drops, just remember the size of the market during these percentage drops. We're talking $20–30 billion for Bitcoin dominance crashing. And then in 2021, when Bitcoin got its first major move, the total crypto market cap was around $700–800 billion. So substantially smaller than where we're at today. So the point being is the overall market is a lot larger in value compared to where it was during previous cycles during the first major move for Bitcoin and Bitcoin dominance crashing. So the point being is there's a lot more money at play even if it's just a 20 or 30% drop. And hypothetically, if Bitcoin dominance were to go significantly higher and do a sizable drop, and it was even more than 20 or 30%, that would mean more dominance to alts, and it could mean a lot more value. So anyways, just a super quick rant looking at the previous two alt seasons where a variety of assets either went parabolic or drew sizable retracements, and we haven't seen that happen yet. So that's just one thing I'm watching on the Bitcoin dominance monthly price chart. We haven't seen the crash, we haven't seen alt season. And one last thing, looking at the Bitcoin monthly price chart, we can see that we are below the 8-month EMA. The 8-month EMA is at 57,000. So compared to holding the trend of previous cycles, I think it's very important to see how this monthly candle closes and ideally maintain in this uptrend. If we stay above this monthly trend line with candle bodies, that's good. If we go below, that's bad. And here's a zoomed in look of the Bitcoin price chart on the weekly time frame with this internal trend line. So of course, guys, this is never financial advice. I've shared this many times before, comparing the previous cycles, even the length of 2013 to 2017 until Bitcoin got its first major move. We are in that range, and this aligns exactly with the trend line. So this is one thing I'll be monitoring until the Bitcoin price chart breaks structure. Let's run through some recent news. We have a little for HBAR, XRP, Casper, and ALGO. First up, we can see that we can now use the Hedera consensus service on MetaMask with snaps. So the integration of the Hedera consensus service, the Hedera wallet snap now fully supports the core Hedera services, token services, and smart contract service. So just think of this snap as a convenient tool ready to support a wide range of applications on Hedera. We can see a full list of their features included in this Hedera wallet snap roadmap. Whenever I think of Hedera consensus service, I think of Atma.io, their application for supply chain by Avery Dennison, which is sitting on Hedera's governing council, tracking a bunch of items. So for HBAR, can it be super volatile? Absolutely, but do they have real applications? Yes. Next up, for the company Ripple, we have Good Morning Crypto highlighting this news from last year. Ripple appointed former Amazon CFO or Chief Financial Officer Warren Jensen to its board of directors. We also have Tokenizer, an absolute must-follow, making a great post just highlighting the Ripple team. And these are just a few. We know James Wall is 17 years at IBM. We have Sandy O'Connor, board of directors at Bank of New York or BNY Mellon, and 30-plus years at JP Morgan. Just like Tokenizer says, where she was right here, the Chief Regulatory Affairs Officer. Sandy joined Ripple right when they got hit with the SEC lawsuit, so she is an absolute expert, and really the entire team is in terms of regulations, at the highest level of one of the top financial institutions in the world. Next up, shared by Crypto Eddie, so we have Privacy working alongside the company Ripple. So we have this person, Danny, has developed a ZK bridge for the XRP ledger, which integrates ZK snarks. This integration can lead to enhanced privacy and DeFi applications by verifying transactions without exposing user data. This ZK bridge implementation is particularly significant as it brings advanced cryptographic proofs to a blockchain that doesn't support smart contracts natively, like the XRP ledger.
And then that's received on the updater contract. What problem do we have here? XRP has no contracts. So how do we solve that? By treating header updates, the job that the smart contract does, as a transaction. So you'd have that as part of the consensus protocol, and the validators do the verification of the ZK proof. So yeah, that's on the receiving side. And then what we've been working on these past weeks is on the sender side. We've been implementing the snark for verification of 35 SegP to 56K1 signatures, which is a bit of a problem because it's not ZKP friendly, but we've, by using a recent paper called Snarkfold, we've been able to achieve really good results with a 10-second proof generation time, a negligible folding time, and constant proof size and verification time. So thank you very much for that.
So it's definitely interesting to see a ZK bridge for the XRP ledger that integrates ZK snarks. If you want a better understanding of zero-knowledge proofs and ZK snarks and all these other terms and jargon, there are really good 1-minute videos all throughout YouTube explaining it. But the big narratives we know as elections are coming is voting, zero-knowledge proofs, decentralized identity, a bunch of narratives, especially with AI. Next up, for Casper Network, you can stay tuned into different podcasts that they share on X, and over the past week, we've gone over the incident report, the security breach, the Condor upgrade, and we also went over Prove AI in the previous video, discussing the patent that's pending. I want to go over this quick screenshot. And for anybody that wants to stay up to date in the Casper community, just make sure you're in the official Telegram group, not a scam group. And when you're in there, you can search keywords, you can search the CEO, you can search different conversations. And thank you, Mitch, for letting me use your screenshot here. We have Joe asking, does this impact Prove AI development efforts? What about Condor? And Ronald says, no, it does not impact Prove AI, our relationship with IBM, or the work on Condor. Prove AI will launch on the Casper network in September. Pilot use cases are already going through final testing and will soon appear on the public Casper network in the interim period. So I'm keeping tabs on CSPR.live, looking for any new contracts. Hopefully they're labeled because that just makes everything so much easier. We continue to progress toward the Condor upgrade, which is currently on DevNet. Among other features, Condor will further enhance the network's architecture and introduce a more accessible consumption model for less technical users, including startups, mainstream businesses, and public sector organizations. So I see retail sentiment everywhere saying Casper's dead, and the thing is, it's not like we've had an alt season, it's not like Bitcoin dominance crashed, and we're seeing alts do 3-4x returns. A lot of assets are crashing, it is not just Casper. Casper's a layer 1 that's struggling, it hasn't gotten those big mainstream applications running on the public network, and that's what they're working on. And you can pull up different price charts, the Casper price chart on the weekly versus Kava curve, it's not the only one sitting at an all-time low price. So everybody's sentiment is different. Some people think that Casper's dead, Prove AI is their final hope, and a successful Condor upgrade. Other people may think that Casper is trying to build long-term solutions and awaiting to see mainnet deployments on its public network. And we're going to find out. We're already at an all-time low price, and we're going to see how low we go and how sentiment is. And again, the only thing that attracts retail attention is price action. So until we see the Casper price chart actually find a solid bottom and then draw a sharp recovery, nobody's going to care. Next up, I saw a really good thread put out by the ALGO Foundation. One of the key challenges of Web3 is authenticated communication between wallets and applications, because we want them interacting securely, privately, and seamlessly. So how are they attacking this? One thing that Layer 1 networks, the industry, and open working groups are working on is standardization. We have Open Wallet Foundation is compiling a set of open source tools using open standards and protocols to build interoperable wallets so they can all work together. We can see Liquid Auth. Think Liquid Authentication is a decentralized and open source solution that enables authenticated communication between wallets and applications in a peer-to-peer manner, leveraging open protocols and standards that we've talked about before, like this FIDO2 or FIDO2 and passkeys. So just wanted to point out that this Liquid Auth is something to keep tabs on, a cross-ecosystem proposal for a decentralized and open source solution that enables authenticated communication between wallets and applications. We also had this shared by Ripple the other day. Ripple joins this group, I don't know how to pronounce it, the next accelerator to advance blockchain innovation in Brazilian finance. So Ripple the company joined this group's accelerator, and this group, the National Federation of Associations of Central Bank Servers, announced a partnership to advance fintech innovation in Brazil through the Next Accelerator program. Their combined effort will support the development of scalable financial services solutions that best leverage blockchain technologies such as the XRP ledger, a decentralized layer 1. So we can see, led by this group, we have Next is the largest accelerator program in Brazil's financial sector, and they link it right there and it takes us here. So we can see Ripple the company right here on this Next accelerator. Brazil is the first country that Ripple has chosen for targeted investment, recognizing the country's advanced developer community, sophisticated digital payments infrastructure, and pragmatic digital currency policies. We also have Hedera right here sharing some AMA sessions covering topics from AI to real-world asset tokenization, and this will be shared throughout the week up until Thursday. I saw this news. We have Europe's fourth largest hedge fund discloses $500 million Bitcoin ETF holdings. So we have the fourth largest hedge fund in all of Europe, Capula Management, has recently disclosed $500 million in spot Bitcoin ETF holdings in a filing with the SEC. And last but not least, guys, we have iTrustCapital linked in the top of the YouTube video description for anybody interested in a crypto retirement account. Thanks so much for watching, and until next time. If you enjoyed this video, please consider hitting the like button and sharing your thoughts down below. As always, you can find all links, including resources for charting, trading bots, platforms, wallets, portfolio trackers, and exclusive discounts in my link tree at the top of the video description. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.